Hello there and welcome back. In this YouTube playlist, if you follow the videos along, you will get to learn with me the FastAPI. So FastAPI is basically a Python framework which is intended to be a pretty or blazing fast API framework that allows you to create with as little code as possible, as versatile as possible APIs. And I'm going to link everything in the description. I also have a supporting repository, but if you have any questions, you can ask it in the video comments, or you can visit the API documentation, because obviously I'm not going to use the full arsenal of the API, just a small portion of it. But here, this is going to be the repository. This is also going to be linked in the video description. So, how do we get started? So, my first experience with the FastAPI was that basically we have, or it's better to create a virtual environment because I'm using other Python modules and they may have dependency issues with other packages. So, let's create the FAP directory, navigate into that and create the virtual env VAPI, like virtual environment for the API. And after this is created, what we should do is to enable this API, or sorry, the virtual environment. So VAPI scripts activate and pip install. There are two packages that we have to install. So the first one is basically the UVcorn, which is a web framework intended to like execute the FastAPI, and the second one is the FastAPI module itself. And after this is done, what we should do is to basically go ahead and create our first demo. So let's open up our favorite text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code, but it's just like another. Alright, so let's call this hello.py. And inside here, what we need to do is to import from the FastAPI. Now it's updating packages. API. Come on. FastAPI. I don't need this autocomplete. And let's create our API. So it's eerily similar as to how you would do it with Flask or the Falcon framework, but behind the scenes it's a little bit different. So now we have to use a decorator, and let's just create, for the simplicity's sake, default index or default context route. And now we say that this is the index page, and what we would like to do is to basically return a dictionary that is going to be hello world. And that's it. So now how do we execute this, or how do we work with this framework? What we need to do is to use the UVcorn framework. If you specify the hello colon API, it will mean that it will look for the hello.py, and basically it will execute it. And you can specify a reload, which will ensure that it is reloading the source file every time you press save in your editor. So now let's see. And now we have this hello world. Let's see what happens if we add another one. So at API get whatever def whatever return whatever. Let's save it, and if you go back, as you can see, it is reloading the source files. And now if we go to the whatever context route, you can see that the response has changed. And that's almost all of it. But what is beautiful in this framework is that it comes with an automated API documentation tool. And here is how you reach it. You have the redoc, and as you can see here, we can see we have two context routes, the index and the whatever, and we also have statistics as to how many successful hits this one received, what are the schema in which we respond, what were maybe the query strings that were passed, and so on. And the other is the docs. This is similar to the redoc, but it's in a different format. To be honest, I prefer this one, but both of them are like pretty functional. What you can do is try out, click on execute, and see what was the response. And it is also able to provide you with the OpenAPI.json. And basically, what happens? Basically, this is like a response which defines what OpenAPI version we are using and general information as to how our API looks like. So that was all I wanted to show you in this introduction. And in the next video, we are going to take a look at what? We are going to take a look at path variables or path parameters that you can use. So see you in the next one.